Definitely. Hi, what's up? My name is Stephanie. I'm with The Hidden Agenda, and I am chilling here with Filter's lead singer, Richard Patrick.
How are you? It's good to be here.
Good. We are in Flint at the machine shop. Ready for the show tonight?
I hope so. I ran into a slight bit of a sickness, and you gotta baby the voice and do all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I think I'll be okay.
Chicken noodle soup, popsicles, and vitamin C.
A lot of water.
So, new record, The Trouble with Angels. And I was curious, what would have to be your favorite song to actually perform live from this record, if there is one?
I think my favorite to perform is Drug Boy. It's the most fun.
And is that a very personal song, what your experience is?
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to do insane things, and I have so many stories from that time period. And Bob Marlette was like, hey, you should start writing about that stuff again. So I was like, yeah. So it's just when I was in my 20s, I'd come back from like these tours with 9 Inch Nails, and I'd be like hanging out with these kids that were just like didn't have anything going on, and I always thought it was amazing. The stuff that they found fun was just like taking a bunch of hallucinogens and breaking into an abandoned jail and going into the jail and getting into the filing cabinet and reading files and just bizarre things. And so so I just thought to myself that that's got to be a topic for music, so I just went for it and wrote it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people can relate. And I was actually curious because the new single, The Inevitable Relapse, I was wondering... Actually,
that's the old single. The new single is No Love.
No Love?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's got a new video.
Does it?
Yeah. Carmen Electra's in it. Rob's fiance. So, yeah.
Well, I'll definitely have to check that one out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back to The Inevitable Relapse, I was kind of curious if there's anything you'd like to say to your fans who are kind of in that inevitable relapse or in recovery right now.
Well, it's the weirdest thing. I mean, drugs and alcohol worked for a while, and it's when they don't work is usually when people realize they're in trouble. And it's fun. I see it every day. I'm around people, and it's just like, you're still not there yet. You still haven't figured it out. And usually that period is when it starts getting terrifying, because you want to be able to have control of everything that you do, but like you're going to get drunk again, so it's like you have no control over that. So it's a really bizarre mental disease, and I just thought it's fascinating. And I actually included like auto-tune on the vocals to make it feel like you were in the club, because that's where I'd go to score and get my fix, just go out and hit a club and find some trouble, and then there's the pre-chorus and the chorus, which is just the relapse itself. So it was a fun song to write.
Definitely. And cool video too.
Thank you.
So I'm curious, have any pre or post show rituals?
I think the funnest thing that we're doing now is we walk right off the stage and just walk to like a table and sign autographs for like 2 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, because there's always that weird thing if you're in a band and everybody stands by the bus and it's cold, and it's this is actually like just everybody stays inside and you get to hang out with everybody and take pictures and stuff. And I can't believe I wasn't doing it for so long, and now we're finally we just sit there and talk to everybody. I mean, there's kids that are like, how do I get into music and how do I get into bands and stuff like that? And I'm like, well, you just got to find your own kind. Where would you go? Like a music store? I'm like, go on the internet. It's just amazing to hang out with them, and it's awesome, because this is, bringing people together is why I got into music. I wanted to make everybody have a good time, and that's the point. And so I feel like that's happening.
Definitely succeeding. So I was curious, how do you handle stress on the road? I know being on the road, cramped quarters, personalities.
Yeah.
What do you do to kind of kick back and relax?
Oh, on the road?
Yeah. Video games, reading.
TV, you know, chill out, watch some TV, get on the internet, say hi to people on the internet, Facebook, call your family. I mean, it was wild, like, you know, back in my day, you know, no one wanted a cell phone. They were just too expensive, and it was too, and honestly, people are like, fuck that, I don't want to answer that thing every time it rings. And you know, so you'd be in a van, and we, you know, I can remember back in 9 Inch Nails, we actually played Uno.
Really?
Yeah, Trent and I and like the crew, we'd sit there and play Uno together.
That's fun.
It was actually like hysterical. He's like, Trent said, well, we're gonna be in this van for a long time, so maybe we should play something like Uno. I bought a pack of Uno cards. And it was like, oh, okay, cool, all right. Yeah, and we got addicted to Game Boys, like Tetris was big.
Yeah? And
like, you know, I remember Mark O'Shea going, hey, Rich, Hoover Dam, buddy. You're in the Hoover Dam. And I'm like, whatever. You know, it's like sitting there playing Game Boy. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. I actually enjoy sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find I'm in bed, like, earlier. There's actually a huge party scene on this bus. Like, there's a bunch of people on this bus all the time now. And I'm like, hey, guys, I gotta, you know, I'm like the old, you know, the old guy that's like, hey, do you mind keeping it down? Do you mind keeping it down? I'd actually like to get some sleep. So, yeah, we have fun though.
That's cool. Just to switch it up a little bit, if you're cool with this, I wanted to briefly talk about one of your older songs, Soldiers of Misfortune, and how that relates to what's still going on. This war is still going on. And I was just really curious. I know you're not like kind of moving away from the political album, but just kind of wondering what your thoughts were on this.
It's kind of strange because, you know, having been over there 3 times and, you know, meeting some Iraqi people, like meeting some Iraqis this time, and the reality is this. The Iraq War, I think, was sold poorly. You know, weapons of mass destruction, and there's a threat, and, you know, and you know, he's working on nuclear weapons, and you know, none of those things turned out. But at the same time, Ahmadinejad is sitting up in Iran, and he's saying, "Let's the Holocaust never happened. It was a complete lie." This is the head of the biggest oil reserves, and like, you know, the 3rd biggest in the world, and this guy's in charge of like that, plus he's working on nuclear weapons, and he doesn't even he thinks that Israel should be wiped off the map. So the reality of the war, the reality of the Mideast, it's been going on, you know, since, I mean, it's already had its own tragedy, but the United States has been dealing with it right around when Thomas Jefferson started losing frigates and old ships. You know, spices and everything like that was being taken off or stolen by the barbarous pirates. You know, so, and he created the Marines and like the far-reaching Navy that we have today to deal with the barbarous pirates. So it's complicated, it's massive. We've been dealing with the Mideast for 400 years. The one of the things that Thomas Jefferson did was he read the Quran from start to finish. He read it and he goes, this book is going against so many things that and think of the things that have changed just as Americans. Like we want women to vote. We want women to have rights. We want women to drive. We want women to be themselves, and see the Mideast is quite clearly still in chaos. I mean, they can't even. So you think to yourself, like, you know, fuck the Iraq War, and why did my friend die, and why is this going on, and stuff like that. And then you sit there and you realize that, like, over the last, 30 or 40 years, they've been amassing troops there because if you could have stopped Hitler, right? If Hitler took over all of Europe, including France, he was only, he was this close to getting England. He could have invaded England. So as a military, deal, you've actually got to kind of like think of that.